Hello there, I'm the student and today I'm going to present you a pretty short but very impactful idea of a game to play in EU4, which if you can't tell from the map how it looks like, of course you can see it on the left on my country flag. But if you have a look on the map mode, you might not even notice my little island empire, which is of course Gotland. You can see all that I own is literally those few provinces, which in total are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 provinces. And it is a little bit of a special Gotland because it is neither the monarchy Gotland nor is it the pirate Gotland. It is the third option of Gotland that is often actually being missed out because it seems to be not that strong, which is the Plutocracy Gotland. You can see I have the Plutocracy government type, I have the Plutocracy Gotlander missions, and that is also why I have of course a huge trade league. And if you would have to guess how high my income right now is, would you ever guess that it is 90 ducats in 1490 with only 11 provinces? In the last 15 years, I literally tripled my income in 15 years. And that has to do with this totally broken mission tree and the totally broken mechanics of merchant republics. Now you see there is one aspect that makes them already totally broken, which is the ability to create cheaper trade companies. Okay, but in this case I don't have that many trade companies. I literally have only 2 trading companies, which is the Baltic Sea trade node. As you can see, those provinces are all in Eastern Europe, and the Novgorod trade node, of course. And those like 4 provinces over here, together with my capital, of course, and my main trade node being here, gives me almost 80% in the Baltic Sea and almost 50% from just those 2 provinces in the Novgorod trade node. And I have, of course, an insane amount of trade efficiency. You can see that I have 100% trade efficiency almost, and that makes of course my trade income being 71 ducats with only 10 provinces. I can't say it often enough, right? Now there is one last mission, or actually 2 missions that are really nice. The first one is this one over here, which gives you, of course, the entire mission tree gives you mercantilism like crazy, you know. I have 54% mercantilism already. But it also gives you permanent modifiers such as 25 trade power in the English Channel until the end of the game, which means together with my boats that I have sent over here, as you can see, my trade fleet with my flagship as well, I control literally 31% of the English Channel without a single province in the entire trade node, okay? I have no province. Because you also get a permanent modifier from ship trade power plus 25%. Not that that alone would be already totally broken, you know. You can see my balance, this is so broken already. But the last mission of this mission tree, this one, Gotland's Trade Empire, gives you a permanent modifier. And you can choose between 3 possible permanent modifiers. Now you see those modifiers are in itself already totally broken. Okay? You can see if the aristocrats are in power, you get 5, when you click that mission, you get 5% discipline and ship durability until the end of the game. 5% discipline until the end of the game is an S tier modifier. If the traders are in power, which they actually were, which is why I have that modifier right now enacted, as you can see over there, you get 25% trade efficiency, 25% global trade power until the end of the game. This is a totally broken modifier again. And if the guilds are in power, you get until the end of the game 15% development cost reduction, as well as 0.5 yearly Republican tradition. This is also for scaling such an insane modifier, 15% additional on top of everything else that you can get, right? Now you might think, yeah, but I can only choose one of that. Wrong. You have decisions that allow you to switch the focus. As you can see, you only need one stability and the nation or the faction that you want to have in power for that modifier to have 80 influence or higher. Now you see that is not a problem at all. You can see you can just spend 9 admin mana for 10 influence, or 9 mil mana for 10 influence, okay? So this is insanely cheap to change that, right? Now you lose one stability, that's annoying, okay, but instead you get the ability to change the focus or the permanent modifier that I just showed you whenever you want, okay? So you can save up points and, I don't know, make your burghers loyal and so on to get more development for cost from there. Click that decision over here, get 15% development cost, spend 3000 mana on developing your provinces as efficient as you would never get with any other nation, and then just switch back to another one for discipline if you want to fight a war after that, or to the trader one that I have adapted to make insane amounts of money. So basically, whenever you need one of those modifiers, you can get it, okay? So basically, if you think about it, basically that means that all of those 3 modifiers are available and permanent, okay? Now that of course only is only available as long as you have those factions. Without those factions you can't change the focus. The question would be, could you possibly keep one of those modifiers without being a trading republic? And the answer is yes. So for example, if I want to, I can of course just save the game real quick and save scum afterwards, but I'm just going to show it to you. I can, if I want to, you know, I want to form Russia or something later on, which of course brings me to be a monarchy, right? And I really want to have like that discipline modifier until the end of the game. You know, I could just boost that up to 80 influence for a few mana, take the aristocrat's focus for 1 stability. There we go. Now I have the discipline until the end of the game. And then I can switch out of plutocracy, for example, to noble elite, which disables the factions, literally disables the factions, and of course also the decisions. But it keeps you that modifier. I can just let a month pass, actually. Of course, I will lose a lot of money because of that. But anyways, you can see that this modifier keeps being there, literally, as it says, until the end of the game, even without you being a merchant republic, or even without being a republic at all. Now, this is all already totally OP, but there is another thing. You might have seen it a second ago, but I can declare the Hanseatic League. Of course, for that you need to own Lübeck, Hamburg and Bremen, but you get permanent claims on those provinces, and the first mission lets you join the empire. So, no problem, okay? And Gotland has even a special ability, as it is one of the historical places of the Hansa. You are actually able to form the Hanseatic League without even being German culture. Which means that you can see I haven't culture shifted yet. As you can see, I could, of course, but I haven't done it. And I can still form the Hanseatic League. Now, the Hanseatic League has, of course, two insane things. First of all, it of course moves my capital to Lübeck, as you can see, which will make me even more money. But second of all, it has insane national ideas. Now, I'm a big fan of the Gutnish ideas actually, because it has core creation cost and 10% development cost reduction, which scales really nice with the guilds focus over here, as I said. I mean, you could keep the Gutnish ideas, but I'm just going to show you the Hanseatic ideas real quick. You see, the Hanseatic ideas are so overpowered. They have 20% trade efficiency, a merchant, which actually Gotland has as well. 15% trade power, ship trade power, an additional 25%. Keep in mind, I have already a permanent modifier from that, which is, by the way, called Lübecker Trade Fleet. Discipline 5%, which stacks really nice, of course, with the aristocrats focus. Heavy ship combat ability, another 5% dev cost, so 5% less, but 10% goods produced modifier for that. 10% idea cost, 20% provincial trade power modifier on top of the 15% over here, as well as 20% trade steering modifier. Okay, so those are basically one of the best ideas in the entire game for trade-focused nation. I would say the best one has actually the East India Company, but anyways, this is only the second best thing of forming Hansa. The best thing is this insanely large mission tree. And this insanely large mission tree, most of you probably know, has an additional permanent modifier, possibly an additional permanent 5% discipline modifier over here. But you could also go for morale, land force limit, manpower, or something else. Those are all totally broken modifiers. As well as, of course, it lets you get insane amounts of subjects, with basically subjugating your entire trade league. As you can see, in my case, it would be an insane amount of countries all around the place in Germany, as well as insane amounts of mercantilism, which, remember, I already am at 45% with the Gutnish missions, as well as totally insane modifiers all around the missions that are not permanent but already long enough that they actually give you insane amounts of money from that mission tree. And that is why I think that the Plutocracy Gotland Path is by far the best path of all Gotland paths, and I would even go that far that I would say that a Plutocracy Gotland into Hanseatic League is a top tier nation, comparing 1-to-1 with France, Spain, Great Britain, Ottomans and all that stuff, because simply you can scale so fast. You are not an endgame tag. Even the Hanseatic League is not an endgame tag. You could form Russia after that, still with 10% permanent discipline from your modifiers. So I hope you enjoyed the video for this week, and we are going to see, as always, on the next Monday.